Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for attending this year's press conference. I want to talk about two things today. Really is to introduce our new uniform to everyone, and certainly we can finish off with talking about any sort of final questions on recruit camp, as you know, starts this Sunday. The headline is definitely the Bermuda Regiment scores a hat trick. For over a decade, the Bermuda Regiment has used the easily recognizable green British military uniform called Combat Soldier 95, which is being used by Corporal Grant. The regiment has historically followed the UK uniform dress because our soldiers are most likely to operate with UK forces, attend British training centres, follow British Army doctrine, and to a lesser degree, our regimental traditions link to UK forces. However, the UK Ministry of Defence is in the process of transitioning its service personnel from Combat Soldier 95 to a new design called Multi-Terrain Pattern. Multi-Terrain Pattern is based on a combination of the US Forces Multicam Pattern, which we have here today, and the British combat style, and has been thoroughly tested over a number of years. The Bermuda Regiment has never been considered part of the UK regular forces supply chain and has always paid an independent manufacturer to supply our kit. Due to the phase-out of Combat Soldier 95, the regiment's supplier stated that we would have to buy 3 years' worth of the material to make the process cost-effective. We decided this option was not the best way forward for us. Therefore, following a conversation with the British Assistant Military Attaché in Washington, D.C., the Governor wrote to the British Army's Chief of the General Staff in order to make uniforms accessible to the Bermuda Regiment. Permission was granted, and the supply of uniforms will commence once the UK's operational units have been issued with the new uniform. This will take about 16 months, and therefore making the uniforms available to us in 2013. This means the regiment will, for the first time, have a dependable military supply chain, and the cost of the new uniforms will be approximately 30% cheaper than the currently used Combat Soldier 95. Multi-terrain pattern is restricted, and independent procurement is illegal. As a stopgap measure, while the UK issues their own service personnel uniforms, an American company has been selected to provide Multicam uniforms for the Bermuda Regiment at a reduced cost, and these are called Multicam. Multicam uniforms are also almost identical to the multi-terrain pattern and are less expensive, more robust, and easier to procure than the previously purchased Combat Soldier 95 uniforms. Once the multi-terrain pattern uniforms are available, the regiment will cease purchasing from the American company and buy solely from the UK. Recruit camp and beyond. 2012 recruits, plus the regiment's full-time staff and long-term soldiers, will be issued with this multicam combat trousers, shirts, jackets, rain suits, and jungle hats later this month. So in short, Combat Soldier 95 is being phased out and being replaced with the multi-terrain pattern or multicam. Bermuda has been placed on the MOD supply chain effective 2013. Uniform costs from the MOD will be approximately 30% cheaper. Multicam provides an ideal short-term solution. It is modern, robust, easily procured, matches multi-terrain pattern, and provides a savings over current uniforms. So again, what you'll see here are 3 soldiers dressed in the uniform. You have Sergeant Major Pereira on the end, who is dressed in typical short sleeve order, as we call it. Sergeant Major Lambert is dressed same uniform, but he's got a long sleeve order, as we call it, and Sergeant Major Harold is wearing the combat jacket. And of course, I've already identified Corporal Grant on the end, which is the current uniform, which is being phased out as we speak. Do I have any questions on the uniform, if anyone would like to ask?
These uniforms look very much like what the Americans in the Air Force in the United States.
They are, in fact, these are the American uniforms. The British multi-terrain pattern, same color, shades, And in fact, the design, you'll see probably the squiggly lines being a little bit more straighter, like a tiger stripe, 1960s tiger stripe, which they used in Vietnam, sort of thing. In fact, I can bring forward Captain Ben Beasley, who is actually modeling that uniform as we speak. So this is the uniform that we're going to be purchasing in about 2 years' time. So again, Captain Beasley on the end. As you can see, they are very, very similar to each other. And that provides us with a far easier phase in and phase out when we do look at that uniform. As you can see, very similar versus not so similar. Any other questions on the uniform? The other thing...
This wouldn't change the number one dress uniform.
No, ceremonial dress is something different, and that's the other advantage, is that by being allowed to buy through the UK procurement system, it doesn't just stop at combat uniform. We're going to look at, cook's uniforms, boots, ceremonial dress, body armor, webbing as we call it, sort of thing. So it doesn't stop there. So it's a good thing, very good thing. Also a lot cheaper. Huge.